Here is Exhibit A of the evidence that Donald Trump is a plant for the Clinton campaign. You'll recall that the right wing was trying to make a story out of the fact that the father of the Orlando shooter was seated behind Hillary Clinton at a campaign event. Obviously, there's a whole crowd of people there, but he got a seat there. And they were trying to make a very big deal out of this, as if the Clinton campaign was consciously trying to put this guy behind them, as opposed to like, oh, we pick people out of the audience who appear to create some measure of diversity, which I think anybody who is savvy about politics knows. Now, the Clinton campaign has a lot more people to choose from in terms of diversity than, say, let's say, the Trump campaign. But nevertheless, that's what happened. They tried to make a big deal of it, but on that same day, Donald Trump, what was it? Was that the day that he talked about people should assassinate the Clinton or a Supreme Court judge? So Trump, in a desperate attempt, tries to revive this criticism. Now, if you've been a listener to this program just over the past couple of years, and certainly if you were a listener to me on Air America back in 2006, the name Mark Foley will mean something to you. But if it doesn't, I'll explain in a moment. But as Donald Trump is making his point about what it means to have someone sitting behind him and actually turns over his left shoulder to point supposedly just to the crowd in general, he is pointing to a person. And that person at one point raises his hand with other people. And the person that Donald Trump is either specifically pointing to or generally pointing to, just coincidentally, is a man named Mark Foley, the congressman who had to resign in 2006 because he was caught up in a scandal of trying to prey upon underage pages in Congress. And all of this was covered up at that time and really fed in to, I think, the narrative that brought the Democrats into office in 2006. Here's Donald Trump.
By the way, you think you have the best location, right? And you do in one way. But the people behind me, they're all on television. They're going to be famous. They're going to be famous. They're going to be famous. And by the way, speaking of that,
pause. Did you notice the two by the way techniques that he segued into that? He just wanted to come up naturally. Because you always say to the people in the front, like, you guys, you think you have good seats, but the guys behind us have, by the way. And then, by the way. Here we go.
Terrible. When the father of the animal that killed the wonderful people in Orlando was sitting with a big smile on his face right behind
He's pointing
Hillary Clinton.
Directly
and
at
by
Mark
the
Foley.
way, including a lot of the people here, how many of you people know me? A lot of you people know me, right?
Everybody except for the African
When
American.
you get those
man raised his
seats,
hand.
you sort of know the campaign. So when she said, well, we didn't know, he knew, they knew. But how did you like that picture? Him sitting, 49 people killed, other people will never, ever, ever be the same. And that guy is sitting back there. And of course he likes Hillary, because Hillary won't even say the words radical Islamic terrorism.
There you go. So Trump is actually pointing to Mark Foley. And it turns out that Trump actually does know Mark Foley. He contributed to his campaign over the course of 12 years. I think every year. $500-800. That's about it. Maybe not a lot for Donald Trump. But yes, Foley said, yeah, I've known Donald Trump for 30 years. And sitting right back there.
I don't think child molestation should hurt your career.
Exhibit.
I made my point very clear going back to Pennsylvania.
Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen. Exhibit A.
In a certain sense, if you're sitting here, you're sort of a big deal. It's like Mark Foley's already quasi famous, and definitely not for good reasons. Wow.
Right. Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.